God's got a blessing. 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 Put your name on it. Put your name on it. God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. God's got a blessing. Put your name on it. Put your name on it. Salutations, everyone. Just I start off with that as a tribute to the late, great Norman Hutchins, who also recently passed away. If I could do a tribute to Sly Stone, I could most certainly do a tribute to the gospel great, Mr. Norman Hutchins. That's my favorite song right there. Very simplistic, but powerful at the same time, because how many of us could testify to God blessing us in his divine timing, especially when we don't deserve it, okay? But God always blesses us right on time. Put your name on it. Oh God, so I'm just here walking over to the store. Gotta get a few things. You don't need to know what those things are. Who cares? You know, just some things, but I also wanted to just kind of take another walk. You know, I'm trying to do more of that because like I said before, we work from home. I don't get to go out as much as I used to when I used to commute. So I wanted to kind of get in on this summer. You know, I heard that it's the first day of summer. I wanted to get in on this vitamin D. Pause. Try to get out a little bit, do a little activity, do a bit more activity than I normally do, you know. So, I also wanted to walk and talk with you. Just kind of bring her along with me. Why not? I can use some company, you know. Why not? All right, so if you hear any background noise, please point in that, you know. That's how it is when you're outside, you run an errand. You'll be surrounded by noise and people with conversations. So just, just use the process of isolation, okay, people? All right? So, excuse me. Yeah, so, all right, so I also wanted to kind of touch briefly on this Tyler Perry lawsuit that's been going on. And I'm not going to touch too much on this beyond this point because there's enough commentary going around. Take your pick. You know, they dive real deeply into this. And so, please just keep your mind open about it. Approach this with a more open mind and welcome various perspectives because, you know, when you have certain allegations like this or this type of thing is brought to the forefront, you have to look at all angles, right? And so my take on it is that you got to be mindful when you have a level of wealth and so-called power, because I do believe all power belongs to God, but just on an earthly sense, okay? On an earthly sense, you want to use that wealth and power for good. Don't allow it to become overly arrogant to the point where you're using it to harm others and you have ill intent towards other people. You don't want to use it in that aspect, right? So that is that on that. And also, when you have when you're in a situation, I do understand when you feel like you're in a position where you want to excel in your career in a certain industry, especially this entertainment industry. You have to evaluate what you're willing to sacrifice, because there's a lot of sacrificial things going on. Whether you want to believe it or not, you want to believe in certain sacrifices, whether or not you believe in certain rituals taking place, you know, there's a lot of things in Hollywood that doesn't surprise me at all. But just be mindful of when you have to ask yourself, how far are you willing to go to succeed? You know, is it worth sacrificing your dignity and your integrity to do so? to the point where you put yourself in a position to entertain certain people and how they move or how they approach you in in that in a sexual way or sexualized way or objectifying way. I think you got to be mindful of how you respond to it, how much or how long you feed into it, and how much and how long you entertain that, you know, because it comes across as you being a willing participant. And I don't want it, as I'm trying to be mindful of how I word things, because I don't want it to come across that I'm victim blaming, because that's not all I'm doing. I would never do that. I'm just saying, be mindful of how you respond to those type of things. But everything is going to come out in the wash. So I'm just going to just let everything unfold and just see how, the outcome of it is, because it's not over at all by any stretch of the imagination. Because it only takes one person to move forward. It takes that one person to move forward and go against the grain and move forward in this. And there's going to be other people that's going to follow suit. Because when someone else is bold enough or brave enough to come forward, everyone else will follow. And so you just have to just be prepared with an open mind and just see how it plays out. Because that's what I plan on doing. Because like I said, I don't want to really discuss it further than this. But if anyone else in the comments or if once I share the platform and once I start interacting with other people, we could definitely touch on it. I have no problem with that. I'm open to that. Okay. But it's as far as I go, as far as like, this is the most in depth I'm going to get with my opinion on this. That's what I mean. But I know that this is not surprising to me, because now Fat Joe has a lawsuit against him as well. And again, just want to see how everything plays out, right? And so you just have to be mindful of how you move with this certain spaces. Okay. But I'm just looking forward to really. I'm going to be doing more full videos. Like I said before, I just got into the StreamYard space, and so I'm looking forward to my mom being the first person that I interact with, do an interview, and get her story out there. Because I mean, what other person I would want to be the first to do this with my mom? And I tell you, it's not going to be a dull moment with her. Once she gets on the platform, you're not going to have no choice but to be intrigued by her story, by her testimony, and her overall personality, and her being her true authentic self. Because yes, because my mom is that person, and I'm looking forward to her coming on. And once she gets the technical issues, get your ish together, mother. Okay, once you get your ish together, so we could get this started. Okay, I know you looking forward to this. I know you are, and I just don't want anybody to think that I'm pressuring you and all that. But get your ish together. Get your technical ish together. All right. But yeah, but anyway, like I said, it's all fun. I'm being silly. But I just wanted to kind of just touch base with you out there, and thank you for coming on and just kind of spending a few minutes with me, kind of accompany me to the store, and I'm going to see you guys soon again, even if it's one or two of you that's gathered. That's okay, But the time that you took to get to the space with me, I appreciate it nonetheless. So I will be coming at you soon again. All right. Have a good day.